Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident fanalist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_data. Well, today's game day. We've already done a decent amount of digging into some stuff. Kind of impromptu, didn't really mean to, so there isn't a ton to do. I do want to dig in a little bit. I kind of just came to this. I hate to even say realization because that sounds stupid. But I had mentioned before that, look, worst case scenario, and it does sound like Jordan's going to play. We can kind of dig into all that if you're interested in those kinds of details. But my thought was, look, the Packers have set themselves up really well this year as compared to previous years. Really well. And even if they lose this game, they're set up in a great position to go into the bye, prep for the Chicago Bears, come out healthy, beat the living crap out of the Bears, and you got 7 wins and you march on. And it's good context. It's a good way to relax, to be able to see, you know, I don't know if anything were to happen, if anything bad did happen, everything's going to be okay. We're going to get in the playoffs. It's fine. Nothing matters anymore. And if you want to go that route, you go that route. But today we're going to go on a different route, and that is, what if we frickin' beat the living crap out of the Lions? What if we go up 1-0 on our number one rival, like we did last year? Well, we went to 1-1, but you know, around this time of year, kicked their teeth in, and we have 7 wins before we go into the bye. And again, as great as it is, the fact that even if we lose this game, we've got like a 60-65% chance of getting into the playoffs, which I think is underselling it. Our chances of getting into the playoffs if we beat the Lions is 80%. 80. Punch the ticket, son. 80% basically means as long as you don't lose your quarterback and just poop all over your bed and roll around in it, you're fine. It's all good. Just don't do that. You know what I mean? I guess this is what I'm saying. The Packers have essentially had the NFC North in a chokehold for what, 30 years now? It's been passed around, this, that, or the other. But let's be completely honest. The Packers have been the ones that have dominated the division. And I think teams really have to earn it if they want to go ahead and claim to be the top team in the division. Well, they had a better record last year. I don't give a crap. That's not good enough. You don't get to take the crown because even though you were worse than the Packers, and if we would have seen you in the playoffs, we would have beat the crap out of you. No. That's not good enough. Well, we got farther in the playoffs. Listen, there were 2 good teams outside of us in the playoffs. Dallas and San Francisco. We played both of them and beat one of them. You played one of them and lost. I don't want to hear about Tampa Bay, you frickin' hacks. I'm sorry, you suck. And you don't just get to take it. And here's the thing, Packer fans. They're coming in for something that has been earned from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers and now Jordan Love. Something that has been carried on, a great tradition, owning the North. It's what we do. And the Lions come in and they're like, hey, I think we're just going to take that now. And we're just kind of like, all right, that's cool. We'll still be 6-2 or 3, I guess. And then we'll probably still be fine. No! You can't have it. You don't get to take it. Where are you coming from? Do you understand how much you suck? You're the Lions. The Lions of all teams. If another team had come, if the Bears decided we're good now, at least they've got legends and a Super Bowl. Couldn't put an S on it, but you got a Super Bowl. They got history. It would piss me off, but at least the Bears, it's like, you know, maybe. The Vikings, they haven't really done much, but they've always kind of been kind of good, you know, if they decide to puff up. It's like, oh man, maybe we got a little sparring match here. This is the Lions! It's like the Jets or the Browns. You don't just get to decide we're good now and we're going to take over the North. That's not how that works. Here, let me just give you an idea what it is that I'm talking about. It just has to stop. All right? I don't care your opinion on it. Well, that's true. No, has to stop. Not going to allow it. Lions are not going to be doing this kind of crap. Not today. Sorry, you're not doing this to me.
Thought was crossing my head. Is this the best team in the NFL? Should this team be number one, even though they're not the undefeated team? And I don't know. I don't know which way I'm leaning now. They have a good case that this is the best team in football.
Let's get it clear here. The Detroit Lions today are the best team in the NFL. I don't care about the loss.
It was a fluky loss, too. They had twice as many yards as the Buccaneers. It was weird.
Fluky loss because they had twice as many yards. Who dominated every category in this past game and then got the crap beat out of them? I wonder. The Lions just beat a team with like 4 yards total in the game. Shut up.
Weird loss.
When you look at power rankings, I want complimentary football. I want a team that when things aren't going...
complimentary football? They just run. They just run. Jared Goff had 4 passing yards. Shut up.
Well, they can change what they're doing to beat you, which the Lions have proven over and over they can. I need a team that's going to be able to run the football in January. We know they can do that. I need the team that can win in a shootout if their defense doesn't show up. I need a team that can get after the quarterback. And even without Aiden Hutchinson...
excuse me? Excuse me?
They can do that.
Can they do that without Aiden Hutchinson, who had like 90% of their pressures and sacks? Shut up.
Team that can get defensive stops when they need it. And guess what? The Lions can do that. Like in the way that modern football is won, I don't see how I would take anybody on a neutral field in any one game above the Detroit Lions right now.
You know, this past week when the defense was on the field all the time because the offense was on for about 5 seconds, and you remember that game, the super dominant? Detroit Lions were ranked 26th in sack percentage at 2.4%. They ranked 26th. All right, I don't want to hear this.
Not only are the Lions built to win the Super Bowl this year, but they are built to be the next dynasty in the NFL. You're telling me this team doesn't remind...
By the way, we did this exact, just so you know, almost this exact copy-paste episode last year. I don't remember exactly what all happened, but I do remember it encompassed this. Lots of Lions fans talking about greatest team of all time, all this stuff. You're talking dynasty, you don't have a Super Bowl in your entire franchise history? Come on, dude.
Mind you of the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a top 5 tight end in football, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, the best offensive line in football, and one of the best offensive coaches in the league. The only thing missing is the best quarterback in the NFL. But I can make an argument this roster for the Lions is better than any roster Patrick Mahomes has had. In the Lions' last 5 games, they've scored 24 touchdowns. In those same 5 games, Jared Goff has 20 incompletions. The Lions don't need a Patrick Mahomes in this offense, but it also helps when your quarterback's playing at a top 5 level.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He has a high completion rate, okay? Congratulations. So does Malik Willis. If Jared Goff is Pat Mahomes, then frickin' Malik Willis is Joe Montana.
Of the San Francisco 49ers with how good their roster is. And you could even make an argument that the Lions roster is better than that. But now they have their quarterback playing at a top 5 level with weapons and a defense that aren't going anywhere for years to come. I don't think we should be asking if the Lions are going to win a Super Bowl. The question should be, how many will they win?
Oh, we
might be having...
I don't even start. Oh, wait. What is this? What is this? Bryce Young, maybe the new... Okay, never mind. I saw a video of that same guy talking about Rosen. I'm like, oh, if you're going to say Rosen's great, I will listen to that. But okay, let's take a look at this top 5 quarterback. This guy is just out of control right now. Jared Goff, if we're looking at... let's just go through it here. Total yards, Jared Goff is 14th. Touchdowns, Jared Goff is 9th, behind Jordan Love. Quite a bit behind Jordan Love, who missed games. If we look at big-time throw rate, man, where is Goff? Oh, he's 26th. 26th. He has 6 big-time throws this entire year. That's, for the record, less than 1 per game. Turnover-worthy plays, however, he jumps up to 15th, which, there's kind of that imbalance there, where he has a higher turnover, and by the way, he does. He has 8 turnover-worthy plays and 6 big-time throws. The fact that he only has 4 interceptions is what we like to call in the business luck. By the way, Mr. He doesn't miss. He's so good. He's so accurate. In adjusted completion percentage, he's tied for 6th with Justin Fields. Congratulations, you dunce. Who gives a crap? Derek Carr is higher than you are. Jalen Hurts, who's having a bad year, has a higher adjusted completion percentage than you do. The fact that your completion percentage is number 1 is because your receivers haven't dropped anything. Jared Goff's PFF grade right now ranks 22nd in the NFL. His passing grade ranks 23rd. Somehow, he's better overall than he is as a passer, which is always hilarious when you're a freaking quarterback. He's top 5 in the NFL. He's top 5. We gotta go. Change your pants, dude. All right? But it's not just them.
First impressions are really brutal. Year 1, he's brutal, first impression. Second impression, McVay bails on him. Third impression is Stafford wins with McVay a Super Bowl, and he's over there in Detroit doing nothing. And so we closed the book on him. And we were only in like the 3rd chapter of a 10-chapter book. Goff, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow all have 5 playoff wins. All that means is that he has double the playoff wins of Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott combined. And 2 NFC championships with 2 different coaches in 2 different rebuilds. That is a real thing. And again, he's durable. He never gets hurt. He's coachable. He's liked. And because of the way he plays, he's not hyper athletic. He's not even semi-athletic. It's a very sustainable style. It's like a Ray Allen. You can shoot threes. You could bounce around the NBA into your 40s. Tom Brady didn't run around, played at a high level till he's 45. Jared Goff can play well into his 40s.
Total offense, rush offense, third down
time.
offense, scoring defense, rush defense. They're first in third down defense. They have first ranked in scoring offense. They have the biggest point differential in the league. They are a great team. And they're a team that we know can perform well in the postseason because we just watched them do it. I think that they are head and shoulders above the rest of the NFC right now. And I probably will still feel this way after this game because it is a divisional game.
Yeah.
So I think that while it might mean that the Packers are closer to them than I think right now, I don't think it knocks them that far down. What does concern me, though, is the loss of Hutchinson. Because while I think you can overcome that during the regular season, his playmaking abilities and disruptive nature of a player is something that's impossible to replace. But those type of plays are the things that are separators in the postseason.
Hi. Try again.
I said this before and I'll say it again. The second half of the season sensation will be Sam Laporta. Because remember, he had that ankle injury, and I know as a wide receiver, a guy that's out there using his athletic ability and agility to get up and down the field, it takes a while, even sometimes into the next season. So he's going to show up big in the second half.
So we got Sam Laporta is going to dominate the league, too.
Are the Detroit Lions playing the best football at this point?
I mean, I think it's hard to argue that they're not.
They steal teams' hope right from the beginning of the game. With the way they get off the bus, they're coming in to punch you right in the mouth. And they do it for 4 quarters. They beat you any way they want to. If you want to throw it, they've got explosiveness down the field. If they want to ground and pound, they can go do that. And they have the most efficient quarterback in the NFL right now. 3 incompletions, 12 of 15, 3 touchdowns.
Thanks to the wide receivers.
Goff is playing as well, if not better, than anybody else in the league right now.
He's playing his best football. And I'll add this, JB, real quick. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they are.
Just straight up and down. Listen, they'll hit you in between the tackles, old school football. But it seems like week in and week out, they're pulling a trick play out. And not only are they pulling it out, it's
David
working.
Montgomery was pretty nice with that pass today.
It was nice. They say once you hear the roar, it's too late. And it's too late for a lot of these teams that have been sleeping on the Lions.
Okay, do you understand? Once you hear the roar, it's too late. And it's too late for a lot of these teams. This has to stop. Right? We cannot let them do another week of just being the most dominant, most amazing. Oh, Jared Goff. Oh, Sam Laporta. Oh, Bro, enough. Enough. I've had enough. I'm not doing it. Okay? Not doing it. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. So what we need There's a little bit of different energy. Something along the lines of this.
This divisional matchup between the Lions and the Packers just had more fuel added to the fire. Lions fans, listen up. And Packers fans, no, it really doesn't even matter if Jordan Love's playing because you guys are still going to win after what just happened. Allow me to introduce you to Xavier McKinney. You know, the man leading the league in interceptions this year. Probably not someone you necessarily want to piss off the week of a game. Sorry, Lions fans. He just said to the media that he believes that the Lions purposely tried to embarrass other teams and that his organization does not take that lightly. This is your fair warning now. Take Jared Goff to throw an interception when it's posted in the Better Picks app. But because I'm an investigative journalist, I went digging, and this quote right here is pretty damning from Ben Johnson saying that they're going to continuously push the limits on running trick plays. Now, what I'm sure a lot of you are going to say is this makes no sense. This has nothing to do with football. When it's a divisional matchup and your boys can get rallied behind one quote, it's going to be a long Sunday, baby.
Now, we already knew about the quote, but I'm talking about the energy, right? I made up a stupid reason why the Lions can't win, remember? They would go in streaks. We don't take turns winning and losing. We win 4, you win 3, we win 5, you win 4. That's how it works. And guess what? They won, I think, 3 games in a row, maybe 4, I don't know. Guess who won the last time we played? Packers. So guess what? The streak begins with the Packers. I don't make the rules. Actually, I did make the rules, but fate made the rules. I'm just reporting it. You understand? We're going to win because Xavier McKinney is pissed. Okay? Or how about this? From Justice McKing on X. He says the Packers are 10-1 versus the Lions in election years during the 2000s. Now, is that because the Lions have just been garbage through the 2000s? No, it's not. You're missing the point. It's the fact that they're 10-1 in election years during the 2000s. It's an election year, and that's all you need to know or think about. This is not hard to figure out, bro. It's like all the stars are pointing in one direction. The Lions don't have a chance. Do you understand?
In my opinion, I think they try to embarrass people. You know, this organization and the players we have in here, they don't really take that, lightly.
They don't take it lightly. Here, we got It's Dehen on the TikToks. He wants to review this nonsense where you've got 10 people all picking the Lions over the Packers. Of course, Adam Rank is one of them, which is great because that dude's never right.
So for starters, this is just flat out disrespectful. I ain't gonna lie. And if I'm a Lions fan, I do not like this because usually when you have a clean sweep with picks, it usually doesn't work out very well. And it's the fact no one gives us a shot to win. Regardless who we roll out with, Malik Willis or Jordan Love, bro, I like our chances of beating them again. You got to remember, it was the same thing around Thanksgiving time last year.
Same
no
thing.
one had us winning. Our offense was way more of a mess than it is now. Now,
Same
our defense, I think that we are either Jameer or David Montgomery. One of those two are going to have a good day. I don't know how we did it last year, but we managed them both last year. And if anything, our defense is way better than last year.
Yeah, all that stuff. All that. How about a little bit of this?
It's the Lions laying 2.5 on the road at Lambeau against the Packers.
Packers for me. First of all, forecast, 100% chance of rain. Yes, you will be able to run the football. One problem. It's your quarterback outside in the rain. Goff. It's been a problem. It is a problem. Packers are ball hawks. They force turnovers. The Lions are running so hot. If Jordan Love is compromised, if he gets hurt, if I'm stuck with Malik Willis, I'm going to lose this bet. I know it going in. But the Packers passing game is better than the Vikings. It's better than Dallas. It's better than the Titans. I just feel like this is a Packers spot.
I realized today on the morning show that the people I work with are just never going to pick against the Lions. On that morning show, I tepidly, nervously took the Lions, and I was wrong. I bitched out. I'm not going to do that here. This has to be the week that they get punished for playing practice squad guys at the defensive end spots.
Thank you.
I just don't believe teams go 15-2 playing with their There are losses, guys. This is the NFL. And I'm with Jim. The longer you go without Hutchinson, the more impact is going to be felt.
Can you feel it? Are you starting to feel the energy?
It takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it.
You're starting to feel it. The American people are starting to feel it. Deal with it. It's election time. We're going to do a bunch of that.
You're damn right you are.
All right, Joe. Take it easy.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Joe, hang up the phone, bro. Hang up the phone. We're good. We're done here. Sorry about that. I think we're having a little bit of a
And he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers.
All right. Damn it, Joe. God. Nobody was drafted. All right, nobody. Anyways, I'm sorry. Here's another video.
I believe that the Detroit Lions are the best team in football. I also believe that they are losing at Lambeau Field on Sunday. And I'm going to bet Green Bay money line plus 120.
I'm going to take Green Bay plus the 2.5. Have you looked at the weather for Sunday up at Lambeau? Sub 50 degrees and raining. Jared Goff touching some grass, buddy. Welcome to the elements. He's coming outdoors for the...
See what I mean? Like, this is a known thing. It's not just me just sputtering nonsense like my uncle over there. This is real, all right?
This is real serious.
Oh, God.
Last year, outdoors was not kind to him. His yards per game were down about 25. His touchdown to interception ratio goes from 4-1 to about 1-1. This is a Green Bay defense that has the most takeaways in the league.
I'm not even going to say that Jared Goff's going to be bad. He's not going to be perfect. He's been perfect for about a month.
Part of it is because everything around him has been perfect.
Exactly.
Elements,
Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you.
Line, perfect. Receivers and weapons, perfect. Everything around him has been great. Now you shuffle up that deck a little bit when you go outside to Lambeau, on the road, hostile environment. Things are no longer perfect for you.
Exactly. Not perfect. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. Got to deal with that. Here, by the way, is noted Green Bay Packers hater Big Cat.
Jordan Love might be playing. I think the Packers are going to win.
There you go. There you go. So what are you worried about? What are you worried about? We got the election thing going for us. We got the streak thing going for us. We got Big Cat, who's like, they're just going to win. We got the betting guys who are looking at data and especially the weather and saying Goff is trash outdoor, especially in bad weather. What else is there, man? We got it all.
We got it all.
Don't start, Don. Don't start, dude. Okay? Can you guys not?
And your great Green Bay Packers are playing San Francisco.
No, they're not playing San Francisco. They're not playing San Francisco. So, anyways, but let's go through it real quick. All right, let's go through it. I don't know what Jordan's playing. Don't know. Is Jordan Love a better quarterback than Jared Goff? Is he? Do the Packers have a better wide receiver group? Is our tight end better than Sam Laporta? By the way, the answer to all of these questions is yes. I hope you're keeping up with me. Do the Packers have better pass blocking offensive line than the Lions? Yes, they do. In fact, they do. Who has a better running back, by the way? Could say it's Gibbs. You could, certainly. I'm not so sure if he didn't have wide open holes to run through that Gibbs would be quite as good as he is. I don't think he has the capacity, as we've seen from Gibbs, when things aren't as wide open. He doesn't perform as well, just saying. Who has the better secondary? Oh, yeah, it's the Packers. Who has better pass rushers? I mean, I know it's been rough. It's not been good for the Packers, so I don't fully know, but without Aiden Hutchinson, I feel like it's the Packers. Where are they playing again? Is it Detroit? Oh, no, it's in Lambeau. Packers are at home. In the cold-ish. In the rain. There is no reason to concede the ground, okay? There's no reason. There isn't. I think it's very reasonable to say the Packers have the more talented roster and just need to step up and do what they need to do. We got some people out. I'm not excited about losing our young safety.
If they think they're going to get their ass kicked by somebody, they say that's the one.
Yeah, no, I thank you for that. That's great. The point is they're not that big of a deal, okay? You ever hear of the paper tiger, paper dragon, whatever?
But these people who puff and huff and they're so big and bad and they beat their chest, they're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to just...
Okay. Yeah, can you all shut up for a second? Just 1 second. Thank you. Oh, Lord. I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a break? We'll come back. I want to talk a little bit about some of the trade situations that are going on, talk about a couple of the other games that are going on, and then we're going to get up out of here. Is that all right? Can we do that at least?
We worked hard to get here. Let's take a break.
All right, so first of all, there's a ton of buzz. I don't think it's going to happen before the Packer game, obviously, but ton of buzz about the Lions getting a pass rusher. It's one of those where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a really weird thing with the Lions head coach. I don't know if you've seen it. I'd play the audio, but there's no point because it's mostly a visual issue. But they asked him the question, like, are you going to get like a pass rusher? And he said, maybe. And the whole time he's like rubbing his chest. He's being super weird. And then he starts like shrinking down, like slowly bending down, like maybe. And then he starts jumping. I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be like, ooh, we got something cooking, or if that dude's just on crack cocaine. And I'll be honest, I'm 95% sure it is drugs. Because that dude is on drugs. I drink a lot of coffee. Bro, I drink coffee. I don't act like you. I used to drink a pot of coffee before I went to work. All I did was make me shake and get paranoid. I wasn't acting like that. That's crack. Or at least one of the main people being mentioned is Trey Hendrickson. Apparently Dan Campbell and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn are familiar with him, having spent time in New Orleans. And of course, you get articles like this. We can't just say, hey, they need a pass rusher and here's an idea. This is DetroitSportsNation.com. Analyst suggests blockbuster trade, which in the article is Hendrickson, that would result in a Lombardi trophy. Oh, God. There also is a weird belief that the Vikings are not done yet. Apparently, they had more money than a lot of people thought, perhaps because of some maneuvering after picking up Cam Robinson. Don't know the exact details, but there's a lot of thought that they are looking at some people. Again, I find that to be odd, but I guess at this point I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. It's not the way I would do things. I don't think it's the way the Packers would do things, but whatever. I guess when, it's like we talked about before, GMs are... Their number one goal is not the long-term health of the franchise. It's the short-term security of their jobs. And I suppose when you're the Vikings and you are a GM that a lot of people are starting to get a little iffy on, and you draft a quarterback and he gets hurt and you bring in Darnold and everything goes way better than you thought, but then you lose your tackle, I could understand panicking and saying, not doing this to me. This is going to be a great year for me. I'm going to keep my job this year. You're not doing this to me. So I guess when you look at it, through that lens. The biggest thing, though, from the Packers' standpoint, is that there's a ton of talk that Marshawn Lattimore is about to be on the move. And I've already talked about Marshawn Lattimore, and I don't know what he would cost, and I don't know the exact specifics, and I don't think it's going to happen for the Packers. But just let me speak here for a second, will you?
And let him speak.
Yeah, let me speak. There's an article here from Mike Florio's Pro Football Talk. Marshawn Lattimore could be on the move by Tuesday. I hate reading from Pro Football Talk because every time I get through it, on the bottom, they're like, originally written over here, and I ripped it off. It doesn't say that on this one, but it's annoying. But it says the 2-6 Saints have landed in the sell category. They've just done a contract extension with Alvin Kamara, and so that leaves Marshawn Lattimore in the bullseye of, they'd have to take a little bit of a cap hit, but it would clear a ton for next year, which would make sense. I've said before, it doesn't make sense just getting rid of like 25-year-olds when you're doing a rebuild unless you think, I don't know, this is going to be like a 5-year rebuild. But if you're maybe looking to reload a little bit, getting a bunch of money off your books from a guy that's kind of, it's run its course, it makes sense. The issue, so I don't know. The reason I don't think they would do it is because I think that they're happy with the situation with Keyshawn. Here's my issue. I'm not. I know they love Keyshawn Nixon. I understand that. And I know that he's done an admirable job at the boundary. The problem is, like we've learned with a lot of other these situations, when one guy's out, everything has to shuffle and everything goes to crap. If Williams is out, then Bullard goes from slot back to safety, and then Keyshawn has to go back into the slot, and Stokes has to go back out to the corner, and it's no good. And if Jair's out, and it just everything's messed up. How about this? How about we just put Jair and Marshawn at the boundary and we leave Keyshawn in the slot, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I think he's better than Bullard. And then if somebody gets hurt, our whole world doesn't get turned upside down. That at least would be sort of the theory. The biggest thing that pulls me off of that is, number one, he's not an elite player, right? And you say, well, it doesn't really matter. He's better than the guys we have. That is a valid point. Here's a counterpoint. In 2024, this year, it would cost us $1 million. In 2025, it would cost us $16 million. And in 2026, it would cost us $16.5 million. There's also 2027 and 2028 void years, but I don't think any of that would touch us because I think all the void money would have already been paid by the Saints, if I'm not mistaken. But I may be mistaken. Now, it's entirely possible that they could work out some kind of a new deal, right? I mean, you could restructure the contract. I think the only real question is, do you want this guy to be like a legit starting corner for you for some time? And that is the way the Packers do things. I mean, he's 28 years old. That's similar to the time we got Preston and Za'Darius and whatnot. You could still see that as relatively young, right? Adrian Amos. All those guys were 20. It was the 27 brigade. They were all 27 years old, and they went on to play for us for a decent period of time. So I don't think it would be a one-year patch. It would have to be like, we think Marshawn could be like a legit player for us for the foreseeable future. You restructure his deal, and you probably end up giving him a deal that is like a starting cornerback for some time. It's just a question of, do you think he's that dude or not? Because remember, he's not an elite corner, but he is a above-average corner. He sets a floor so far this year. 8 receptions, 83 yards, 0 touchdowns given up. He's got no interceptions, but 2 pass breakups, 74.4 passer rating when targeted. You know, considering the alternatives and whatnot, I don't know, man. Now, there's a pretty hefty corner market right now, guys that are pretty desperate for corner, so I don't think we're going to be competitive. I'm just throwing it out there because I know it's a thing. And again, Hendrickson and all these other guys are in talks among Packer fans. I don't know if the Green Bay Packers are also as interested in that, but just thought I'd throw that out there. We are winding down, so we'll see. All right, let's take a quick peek at some of these games here, and then we'll get out of here. Tennessee and the Patriots, good Lord, who could care any less than I care right now? I can't imagine the person and what they would be doing. Saints-Panthers, similarly, you've got teams, this is the number 1 overall pick bowl. I mean, both of these games, Patriots-Titans, Saints-Panthers, this is a bunch of fan bases begging their teams to lose. Dallas and the Falcons, I mean, man, oh man, Dallas is just looking for any opportunity to, claw their way back. If they can win this game in Atlanta, they're 3-4 right now, which is obviously not where you want to be when you were a dominant team last year with a quarterback who, was one of the top in football, which I think we all knew was not going to last, but still he had a great year, et cetera, et cetera. You are now 3-4 going up against a 5-3 Atlanta Falcons team on the road. You fall to 3-5. You're putting yourself in a tough spot. But if you can go to 4-4, make Atlanta 5-4, starting to kind of pull yourself out of the miry mess. With that said, I guess I'm rooting for Dallas in this. I wouldn't hate, obviously, for Dallas to lose and continue laughing. I mean, for the lulls of it and whatnot, it would be funny. But for the whole NFC race, Dallas knocking Atlanta down a peg and allowing the Packers some breathing room in the NFC would be kind of nice. So I guess we're kind of pulling for Dallas in that one. Denver, Baltimore, I'm pulling for Denver. It's an AFC thing, so who cares? But I'm just kind of riding the Bo Nix train. All rookie quarterbacks not named Caleb, I want them to have really good seasons. So go Denver. Buffalo, Miami, I don't really care. Although I have a general rule that if you're really good at football, you scare me, and I don't like that. So if Miami wins, that would be kind of cool. Las Vegas, Cincinnati, give me a freaking break. It's hilarious that they're talking about Cincinnati being massive buyers, right? They're really looking out for, corners and whatever else because they really believe in this team. It's like, bro, you're 3-5. Just come back next year, will you? I maybe that's unfair. I mean, the Packers have done it numerous times. I don't believe in you. So there's that. Chargers, Cleveland, gross. Washington and the Giants. I mean, look, Washington didn't look super great against the Bears. I don't think that that's going to matter in this game, but if the Giants find a way to pull it off, that would be nice. But again, the rookie quarterback playing well, that would be a consolation prize. The reason I say that, obviously, Washington is 6-2, the Giants are 2-6. We're just trying to keep pace with Washington. Be nice if they lose, but this is not a great week to really hope for that. And we got Bears, Arizona. Of course, they play at 3 o'clock also. You know, the one time we get a 3 o'clock game and you hope that you can watch a game, like a divisional game that matters. Nope. Nobody wants to play when it matters. The Lions obviously play at 3. The Bears play at 3. We do have Minnesota at the late game, but just nothing to do at noon, man. Nothing. Anyways, 4-4 Arizona Cardinals against the 4-3 Chicago Bears. It really shouldn't take much effort to figure out who I'm rooting for here. I don't feel great about the game. Chicago obviously played Washington very, very close. The offense was a complete disaster in the first half, at least, probably 3 quarters of that game. I'm talking about Chicago's offense. Quarterback was a complete freaking joke. But he started to catch fire down the stretch there in the fourth quarter, and that defense held Washington to just nothing. And that was frustrating because I know the Bears' defense is good, but I don't want them to be so good that really good offenses can't score points, and then the Bears' offense, 4 quarters later, figures it out and starts putting points up and rallying back. I can't handle that crap. But when you look at DVOA, Chicago and Arizona are very, very close to each other. Right now, the Chicago Bears have the 25th ranked offense, 10th ranked defense, kind of the exact opposite. The Arizona Cardinals have the 26th ranked defense, but the 13th ranked offense. So it's kind of I don't want to call it strength on strength. It's going to come down to, can Arizona move the ball against the Bears defense? That's going to be the biggest thing. If they can't, the Bears are going to win. If they can, they got a pretty good chance. But they're going to have to do it consistently and put up some points. Bottom line is, man, they've got a curse on their side. The Bears are absolutely freaking cursed. Everything's going wrong. It's a terrible season. Despite the 4-3 record, I mean, just look at the Hail Mary. Look at all the crap that they've gone through. I'm begging Arizona to find a way. Because if the only teams that the Bears are going to be losing to are, at the time, 5-2 teams that barely scratch out wins, then the Bears are going to be good, and it's going to suck, and we're probably going to see them in the playoffs, and I don't want to deal with that crap. So if Arizona could please just win that game, that would be fantastic. Philly and Jacksonville. Philly 5-2, Jacksonville 6-2 or 2-6. Very little chance Jacksonville wins, although they played us pretty well. Who knows? It's not in Florida, so they don't have the heat on their side. They're playing in Philly. Jacksonville's going to get the crap beat out of them. Philly's going to put up 80 points on Jacksonville just to tick us all off. Packers, Detroit, we've already covered quite a bit, if I'm not mistaken. Seattle and the Rams. I am going to be pulling for the Rams because we've already beaten the Rams and we haven't seen Seattle, and so a slide from Seattle would be kind of nice. Then, in the late game at 7:20, for some reason, we decided Colts, Minnesota would be the best possible thing that we could do. It is in Minnesota, which sucks a little bit. Obviously, advantage is on the side of Minnesota, but Minnesota is starting to slip. They're actually, if you look at defense, they are still the number one defense, but it's primarily how unbelievably dominant they were early. If you look at their Dave, or if you look at it based on weighting the later games more so than the previous games, you can see that they are starting to slip. Not bad, but they're first to third, so they're heading in the wrong direction. Although so are the Packers on offense and defense. They used to have the number 3 offense, they're now 7. Defense, I think, was top 10. Now they're 14. So we gotta turn that crap around here. Detroit, of course, is 5th on offense, 5th on defense, number 1 overall. So, again, enough is enough. Just final quick look. This is Sunday morning at the weather right now. It's going to be cloudy with intermittent rain. Looks like it's expected to rain through 10 o'clock a.m. and then stop. and then start up again around 4. So this is, game time. So there is very likely going to be some showers during the game. It's possible they catch a little window without it, but more than likely that is going to happen. So, and you got the real feel is actually in the 40s. So when you factor in the wind chill and the rain conditions, it's going to be cold out there. Cold, cloudy, rainy. There you go. Need to have that working on our side. Again, it very well, that's going to hurt Jared Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff threw 50 yards last week, basically, and won the game. You have to stop the run. You have to force that guy to throw the football. Otherwise, this stuff doesn't matter. So there is your challenge, although I think this is just going to be a slugfest running the ball. And obviously that makes me nervous when you have a terrible run-blocking offensive line in Green Bay and an elite one in Detroit. But figure it out, man. They'll figure it out. All right, have a good day. I will talk to you tonight, tomorrow, whatever. Have a good one. Bye-bye.